Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z. Flips and giggles on Whatnot, eBay, Facebook, pretty much everywhere except for Instagram. Flips and giggles. And I am also an affiliate for My Reseller Genie, and I've been using My Reseller Genie for years now. My payment just, I'm legit because my payment just went, didn't get pushed through because I had to get a new card. So I just had to change my payment this morning for My Reseller Genie. So I'm still an active member of My Reseller Genie. I got that taken care of, and I paid my subscription. But you too can sign up for My Reseller Genie, and you can use my promo code Giggles or use the link on my Instagram. It's a bookkeeping software specifically designed for resellers. You can also get 15% off of the bookkeeping course, which kind of explains how to keep your books efficiently and properly. I think if you do the annual plan, it comes out to a few months off. So definitely take advantage of that. And again, that promo code is Giggles. I don't think there's any capitals, just Giggles. So that's it. And it's almost the end of July. This is the last week of July, which means there's only one more month of actual summer. My kid goes back to school the 27th, which is crazy, man. It's already the end of it's at the beginning of the summer. I always am man, I love the summer. And then it obviously goes by too fast every single time. Even trying to slow things down, this summer, I was we did a bunch of Whatnot stuff earlier on in the summer. Obviously we had, the next six-figure seller thing kind of ran into the beginning of summer. And then after that, we kind of, I didn't. Most people probably would have kept on the gas and been all right, we just did next six-figure seller. Let's now do as many raid trains as we can, and let's try to do as many Whatnot shows as we can. But that's not what I did. I was let's take a step back a little bit, see if that's actually the route we want to take. Do we really want to be doing constant Whatnots but then at the same time, I have my issues with eBay, and so I've just been selling stuff where it's been kind of convenient for me. I've still been making money, still been but selling stuff on Facebook, selling stuff on eBay, and so it's been a productive summer. It's the summer slowdown's definitely been a thing, but I haven't been it's if I have stuff that's good that I know will sell, I'll list it and it'll sell pretty quickly. Let me put this down because I don't want to forget, because I had another eBay return. So we're going to talk about eBay returns again. I don't like to talk about eBay returns, but it seems like they happen all the time. And I'm not not describing the item properly. I'm not testing it. I'm doing all the stuff you're supposed to do, and they still keep getting returned. Shit still keeps getting returned. So yeah, it's been 1 week since you looked at me. It's been a more laid back summer, I guess. I just yesterday, because my wife was off. So this last weekend was the first weekend we've been home in weeks. Excuse me. We were home last weekend, but if you remember, I had three birthday parties last weekend. On Saturday, I went to 3 different birthday parties, and then on Sunday, my wife was working, so I think we just kind of hung out. But when my wife works, it's hard to get stuff done. You can get stuff done, especially with 2 kids here, but there's a lot of interruptions. You know what I mean? It's you'll be getting a good head of steam on cleaning or doing something, and then it's hey, can you get me a snack? Hey, I just shit my pants. Hey, I just did this, I need this, so you have to kind of stop and then so but when my wife is home, like she was home this weekend, this was the first weekend we've had, and so like the basement area, so my wife was cleaning like the upstairs area, which it doesn't look like it. I just took a picture before sitting down to do the podcast, because like I had to have my kids clean up their area, because it's just the playroom is kind of extending to like everything. So when my mom died, we didn't get rid of like all the kids shit like we should have. It just started merging with our own, and so there's like a ton of stuff that just needs to be going through, and we're doing another yard sale soon, because we've just got so many like kids things. We've got a lot of kids books, which is cool. Like I think all the books in the other side of the house just need to be gone, because we've got so many books over on one side of the house that like they're just everywhere. I just walked through the house with my kids. I'm like, you've got toys in this room, you've got toys in this room, you've got toys in this room. Like I'm gonna start selling these fucking toys. Like that's the thing, right? Like it's not like I don't make the threat, but like I will sell toys. Like it's more of like a promise. Like, dude, if this keeps happening, I'm going to have to sell this stuff because it's too much. And so now they're just like, if anything's in my area, they automatically think I'm trying to sell it. Like they'll be like, hey, what's that thing doing in your stuff? I'm like, I don't know, I just put it there because I found it on the floor. Oh, you're not selling it? No, like, but I will, because there's fucking shit everywhere. So yeah, that's where we're kind of at right now. Everything's just a mess. We've been gone most of the summer. We've been like vacationing, and like now we're just kind of back, getting caught up. Sorry. And so my wife was home all weekend, and so Saturday I was like, let's just take Saturday as like our fuck off day. Like let's just really plan on like cleaning and getting shit done on Sunday, and then Saturday we'll just like do family shit. Like, so I went out to yard sales, kids got to play at the house with mom. I got back and we were my daughter's been asking, because we got her rollerblades last year and she tried them once and was like, nah, like I don't want to try this again. So then leading up to summer, she's been telling us she wants to start trying the roller skates again. So like, all right, we'll find a place like this, that, and the other. And we just have not had time. We brought them to Maine with us, but like there just wasn't really an area to do it. Like we could have done it where we were staying, but it was like it wasn't the best. It wasn't the smoothest roads, and so we just hadn't had a time to do it. So we ended up like Saturday. I was like, after I got back from sales, I was like, let's go like there's a place called Herring Run near the Cape. Shout out to Herring Run if you've been there. This mic, I need to get like new something. I don't know what. I think it's the cable here. If you heard that, I can't tell where it's. But yeah, I think I need new cables. And so it's like a little place where like it's right along Cape Cod Canal. You can watch the boats. There's like little picnic tables. There's a little flat like area that you can kind of walk or bike on. And I think it goes all the way down to this other park. So we're like, all right, that's across the street from this little like it's called Seafood Shanty, which is like a little if you've been to like a beach town, you know what I'm talking about. Like one of those little just like seafood shacks, you know what I mean, that has like clam strips, fish and chips, like all the New England shit. But they had lobster rolls. And up until recently, like I'm not a big lobster roll person. Up in like recently, I've been like, dude, I'm not like a fan of lobsters. Like I would rather take crab over lobster, and that's like true. And I usually like, if I get a lobster roll, I get like one for the season, and I'm good. But that was my third lobster roll. Me and my wife split it. We split it because we were going to get some dinner too. So I told my wife, I was like, I'm not cooking at all today. You're not cooking. Like, we're not doing shit today. We're just going to fucking do fun shit with the kids. Like, so we got, a lobster roll. It was like $35, but it was packed. Like sometimes you get a lobster roll and they don't put shit for like for meat, but this thing was like packed, and it was called a lobster salad roll. So it was not like made traditionally like a lobster roll. They made it almost like seafood salad, but with lobster. No celery, which is awesome. I fucking hate when places put celery in it, because celery is fucking gross. Has no place being in any type of anything. It's just crunchy grossness. It's gross. I like crunch and stuff, but celery is fucking nasty. I'm sorry, it's gross. And so, but this was like, me and my wife both said that we think that that's the best lobster roll that we've ever had. It was hands down one of the definitely the best I think I've ever had. I don't know. It didn't have like that weird lobster like taste. I apologize for this little like clicking sound that happens every once in a while when I move my hand on this mic. I need new mic cables apparently. Let me because I'm gonna forget otherwise. Let me put a little notification, because otherwise I will forget, and then I'll be trying to do the podcast one day and the mic won't work. Mic cords. So let me put a thing to order them, and I'll order those today, so that way I can get some new mic cords, so that way the next time this thing doesn't shit the bed, because these cords, I don't remember where I got them. They suck. They started dying one by one. This is the last one standing. But yeah, podcast has been going like almost 2 years now. It'll be like 2 years in, I think, November. I should have more episodes than like 100 and something, but it is what it is. I try to do it every day or every week. Obviously sometimes, it gets pushed back. This one got pushed back a little bit, but this should go out today, so it should be pretty much right on schedule. And then once I get back again, I'll have a set schedule coming up in the fall, and then that's what I'll try to stick to. Sorry, I was trying to see what those kids are doing. They're so fucking loud. It sounds like they're in the next room over to me, but they're like upstairs. Like I can see them if I like stick my head around the corner, but they definitely shouldn't be as loud as they are. Yeah. So, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, seafood salad. So yeah, seafood salad, lobster salad. So yeah, it was really fucking good. So we got that, and then we got some clam strips, which the clam strips are really good too. Sometimes you get clam strips and they're like rubbery and nasty. They had the ones with the bellies, but I used to pretend to like them, because I'm like, oh, I'm a good New England boy. I love clams with bellies. It's fucking disgusting. You're just eating like sand. It's fucking gross. They're nasty. That's what happens when I ordered those what the fuck were they called? Not shooters. They were like little clams. I forget what the fuck they call it, but like steamers. When I ordered the steamers, that's what that's what came with the steamers. It was like the fat like doo-doo looking meat with the bellies. And that was not, we ate a couple of those, and I was like, this is not what I wanted. But, I should have asked. I just assumed it was one type of clam, and it was not. So it was the ones with the bellies, and those are fucking gross. So if you never had a clam with belly, it's just like a sack of sand. That's what it tastes like. Tastes and feels like a sack of sand. It's gross. So then we did that. And we went to go across the street, like literally just across the street, and we pulled into the restaurant. We took the GPS to get there, because we live near the Cape, near Cape Cod, and like trying to get to Cape Cod at certain times is like crazy. I thought it wouldn't be too bad, because I'm like, it's Saturday afternoon. Like, if you're going to the Cape, you're not going Saturday afternoon. Like, you're trying to get there like Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday is like usually the biggest traffic days. So I'm like, if you're just going out there on a Saturday, it shouldn't be too much traffic. And we weren't even going anywhere near the Cape. We were going just like kind of to the entrance, but not even. Like, we were probably still like 20 minutes from even getting to the bridge without traffic. So I was like, I don't want to deal with, like, we had to take left trying to get into all this traffic, and I was like, it just looked like a nightmare. So I was like, let's just go. There's another park like that connects to this one, the walking trail. Let's drive out there and go check that one out and see how that goes. So we do. We go down to this other park. My daughter like practices on her skates or whatever. It was fun. It was a good time. We get there. There wasn't a ton of people there either. The last park, it was like packed. But there was like a little trail, so we went down on the little trail, and then at the actual park, there was like a full black like family reunion. And so we were, we walk from like one side of the park to the other. I'm helping my daughter like learn her how to balance on the roller skates. And so then there's a coffee place, and my wife was like saying how she needed coffee. My wife's one of those people who's like, I need coffee. So we go get coffee, and I'm like, I liked the way it tastes, so I'm like, if you're getting coffee, I'll grab a coffee. Just like, I only drink water most of the time, so like anytime I have a chance to drink something other than water, I'm like, fuck it, I'll get some coffee, whatever. So my daughter still has her roller skates on, so my wife and my youngest go into the restaurant. Me and my other daughter are sitting outside, and we're just kind of people watching. So like this black family it's a massive family, like it's a huge family reunion. I'm assuming that's what it was. Now, do I know it was a family reunion? I don't know, but most of the black people I've ever met have had family reunions in the park, so that's what I'm going based on. Just my my experience. So they were playing some game, but it was just like a made up game. Like you could tell it wasn't like they were like playing with a soccer ball, but they were like throwing it, and then like, so me and my kid were like watching them trying to figure out what this game was. Meanwhile, this like white dude is there, like he's like just like pulled up to the park, and he's got like a full, like one of the flags from when you're putting, like when you're at a golf course and you're trying to putt or whatever, one of the flags that like take out of the ground, the big like number flag. It was like a flag with the number 1 on it, like the whole signs, flags, whatever the fuck they're called. And so he's got this thing, and he's got like this other little thing. He keeps tapping the ground. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, and I think he wanted to like practice his putts or something there, but this black family is having this like giant game of whatever, this game they've just made up. And so he like walks off, and I'm thinking he's like annoyed or whatever. So then I'm busy with my kid, and I look over, and the next thing I see, this guy who was just like fucking around with golf clubs and all this shit now has a fishing rod. And we're not like, the water is close by, but not close enough where you can just take your fishing pole out and like, he would have had to walk like across the park, across a big parking lot, and then like over still a little ways to get to the water. Like he wasn't like in a place where you should have had a fishing pole out. So I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he's doing. I'm trying to piece this together. I can't figure it out. Some people come by and they ask him. He kind of points and like into the sky, and I look. There's nothing in the sky. I'm like, what the fuck is like? And so finally, like, my wife comes out, and I tell her, I'm like, look at this fucking guy. So it was like peak people watching. Like me and my kid were just sitting there like people watching. We were talking about the black family. I was calling them the black family, by the way. When my daughter was a baby, I forget where she got it. I think we were trying to like not look racist, so we got a black baby doll. I don't remember why we had this black baby doll, but it was like a black baby doll, and so we would like call it Black Baby because she wasn't old enough to talk. You know what I mean? And I think it was honestly my wife. My wife's white. I'm half white, so my wife's white. You know what I mean? So she's a little bit of a. No, I'm kidding. I forget who. Somebody. I think I called it Black Baby. And so our kid just started. That was like the first time she ever like repeated something that like she wasn't supposed to. She wasn't in school or kindergarten at the time. She was very young. It's before my other child was even born. But we were just calling it Black Baby, and so then I think we started calling it BB. But anyway, I don't even remember why we're talking about Black Baby. But anyway, we're talking about this, this family reunion. And so I'm in my head, I'm like, this guy's just like trying to fuck with these people. He's got like a fishing rod. He's just fucking with these people because, like, white people get territorial about their parks, especially when black people are involved. You know what I mean? It's a public park, but like a white person will come in real quick and be like, this is not your place. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I don't know if that's what's going on. And he's got this fishing rod. And so finally, like, my wife comes out. She's like, what the fuck's that guy doing? And I'm like, we've been sitting here trying to figure out what he's doing for the last, 10 minutes. I don't know what he's doing. So this is after other people went and asked him, and like, my wife's out there with a coffee, and all of a sudden, like, a friggin' kite starts coming into frame. Like, it was behind like a building, so we couldn't really see like behind the building, and he kept pointing up in the sky, so we're like looking up. So he has a fishing rod, and he's got the kite attached to the fishing rod. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. So then we went, where do we go? We went to, after that, we went home. So I was like, all right, let's go home. My cousin was coming by to drop off some stuff for my daughter. She missed her birthday party, so she wanted to stop by and say hi. So she stopped by. We, got ready. And I was like, all right, let's go out to dinner. Like, it was a fun day. It was like one of those days, like, you don't get too many of those days, like, where you're just like, where you kind of just create a day out of nothing. You know what I mean? And like, I know a lot of like women are like decisive. My wife is not 100% decisive on stuff. So like, if we're trying to make a plan, if I don't go, this is what we're fucking doing, it's a whole like, well, we're doing this and we're doing this. So I just kind of like, took the reins on like making a plan. But then of course I said that, and she was like, oh, somebody from work was just telling me about that place. It's crazy. They were just telling me. I was like, well, it was my idea. So we're going there. This is my dad came up with a cool day to do stuff. So then we went home, and then we were like, all right, let's go back to like, there's a little area called Onset. So it's like a little like suburb of our town. But it's like still part of the town. So it's like a little like even more beachy, like, there's like a little trail that you can walk by the water, and there's like all types of shit. So we went to dinner there because like there's a place that we go there that's like, if you live in the area, you know about it. But like, if you don't live in the area, it's not the most appealing place. It looks almost kind of like a little dive bar. But they have really nice seating on the back. Like, you can go out on the deck, and they've got like, it's inside outside seating. So it's like an outdoor deck, but it's like they've got like shit around like they open it up if it's too cold or too hot, whatever. So it's a nice spot. Like, it's a little spot that like, is kind of easily overlooked. If you're looking for like a spot where you're like, oh, I want to go sit on the water or do something like that, like, you wouldn't really like think this spot, like, just from the outside looking in, it doesn't look great. But like, if you've been there a few times, like, the food's really good. Service is usually really good. So we went there, found a parking spot. Like, usually parking's a pain in the ass, but there's a parking spot right in front. Again, if you like don't know this restaurant, you wouldn't have even known that the parking spot was there. Like, it was like one of those, like, you have to know the area. So then we went there, and they have this meal, and me and my wife have learned this meal, like, it's seasonal, so they don't do it. They only have it in the summer. But it's called it's like honey beer haddock. So they do like this breaded haddock fish. I don't know how they cook it, but they do it perfect every time. And then they used to put this honey beer sauce on top of it. Now they bring it on the side, which is, 10 times better. So it's just like this little, I don't even know what the fuck is in this sauce. It's like, oh, it's so good. So we each got that. Like, every time we go there, we're like, and if they have that, we did it once where we ordered like the haddock and something else, and we both just were like, well, why don't we just get one of each? Like, so now every time we go there, we get that honey beer haddock. It's so fucking good. So we have that, and my kids, I told them we could do ice cream. My daughter had a doctor's appointment Friday, so I was like preparing to be like, she was going to have shots. So it was like, if you handle it like a champ, we'll do some ice cream. So I had already like mentally like told myself I was getting ice cream. And so when she wasn't getting shots, I was still like, all right, well, I guess we're still getting ice cream. So we left dinner and we wanted to try a new place because we had seen this place that we drove by that was like more known for their soft serve. Because we don't get soft serve all the time. It's not like my favorite thing. But this place specialized in soft serve. So we went and I got like coffee ice cream with peanut brittle. It was really fucking good. They have like different toppings. So I put like the peanut brittle topping. That was really good. And then my kids got whatever. So everybody ended up getting some good food. But that place was packed. So we didn't get home until like we left the ice cream place at like 8:30, 8:45. So my girls stayed up late on Saturday night, but it was fun. It was worth it. Every once in a while, you just got to be like, fuck it, dude. This is what we're going to do. So I say all that to say this. The whole purpose of that was because then Sunday, I made sure I started like so when you walk into my basement, like our house is divided into two sides. Like the main house where my mom was living before was like the original house. So there's that house, and then under that is the basement, which there's no way to get to the basement from that side of the house. So it makes kind of no sense. I don't know where the entrance to that basement was at one point. Maybe it was outside. But then to get to the so then on the other side of the house where we live, or now we live in the whole thing, but where we like reside, there's another part of the basement. So there's two basements. So one basement is like storage and like all that other shit, and the other side of the basement is where I do like the Whatnot shows and packing and shipping and all that stuff. So because we have like this newfound space, we're still kind of in the process of figuring everything out, but it's been such a mess. Because if you resell, you know how it is. Like you go out on a Saturday morning, most people are going to hear this and be like, oh, that's my fucking Saturday, especially if you have a family. Like you go out, you get all your shit, you come back, and it's summer. So it's the middle of summer. Like your family wants to go do shit, so you just take that shit and you just throw it into, like, you try to be neat about it. But most of it needs to come out of the vehicle that you're using. Sometimes you're lucky you have another vehicle, but still, you don't want stuff just sitting in your car, especially if it's like, secondhand stuff. You don't know what, if it smells or what. Oh, that spider is like, there's a spider on my light right now. It's tripping me out. I thought it was a mosquito. He's like running all around the light in different areas, and I keep seeing him, and I keep thinking it's a little mosquito, but it's just a little spider. Anyway. So yeah, you know how it is. Like your whole, things just get piled up, and then you're like, I didn't even remember I had this and this and this. So I just had to clean up the basement. I devoted like 4 or 5 hours yesterday. I got home from sales, made lunch, and then immediately just started cleaning. And because I was, that kind of leads to everything. It's kind of trickles out. Once it's like that area gets filled up, then it trickles out into the basement. It trickles out to the backside, the outside. So I was trying to get everything organized, and it's still not even organized. I still have to like figure it out. It's hard because I sell on 3 different platforms. So, and I've always just been like, chaos is my organization. Like, I'm not an organized person. I can't stop and take the time to be like, all right, where is this going? And I need to, but I don't. And so like, yeah, I just need to figure out a system that's going to work. Cause I was going through and I'm like, oh shit, that was like my foot. I apologize for that. So I like, the shit that just completely distracted me. The fuck was I just talking about? Oh yeah. So I need to like completely take everything out and like redo the new things. But like, as I was cleaning and going through stuff, I'm like, these were systems that I had in place when I had no idea what I was doing. And so, I just need to completely overhaul the basement now that it's cleaned out. But then what happens is like we get busy again, and like next week we're doing like our anniversary. We're going to Story Wars. I don't know if I've talked about this on here yet. So I got tickets to Story Wars. So I don't know if you're familiar with the podcast Story Wars, but it's Louis J. Gomez and Big J. Okerson from Legion of Skanks, and they do a story-based game show type thing, and it's like 5 comedians and those two and then three comedians, so it could be anybody. So I'm excited for that. That's next week. We've got a babysitter for the kids and the dog. So, because we're going to be in my in-laws area. So we're going to drop the kids off and the dog off there. We'll be kid-free for the night. That'll be fucking so sick. I'm so excited about that. And then next Tuesday, I think it's next Tuesday. I don't know when it's going to air. Actually, it should air next Tuesday. Duh. So I got a message last night from Sunny Las Vegas. So I don't know if you're familiar with Sunny Las Vegas, but I've followed him on Instagram. He's a reseller. And so he sent me a message and asked me if I would like to be on the Cat the Nurse Flipper podcast. So Cat the Nurse Flipper is another big reseller. She's big on YouTube, I believe. I'm not like I used to be crazy into like the YouTubers and the resellers and stuff like that, like when I was learning. So I don't have a ton of time to watch like a lot of reselling content like I used to. But I know since I've started, she was already like established, you know what I mean? Like as a reseller in the game. So that's exciting. I posted about finding hens on nests. I think that's what they're called. I keep fucking up the name. And that was one of my bigger posts on Instagram. I've been trying to be better about posting every day, at least one thing a day, but it's hard. And so they hit me up and they asked if I wanted to be on it. So it's August 4th. 8 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's live. So I think it's going to be like a live stream. Answer like questions from chat. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm qualified to answer questions. I'm a professional reseller, I guess. I give myself less credit than I know about reselling. I can probably hold my own on a reselling podcast. But this podcast is just so much different than any other reselling podcast. It's like so it'll be interesting to have to carry a conversation with other people when I've just been carrying it by myself for so long. That's Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, August 4th. And that is Cat the Nurse Flipper podcast. I think that's just what it's called. And that's live on YouTube. I think they just go live on YouTube. So check that out. I'm sure you'll be able to pull it up after the fact. So there's that. I just recently realized too, I've been like talking about how I have video now, and I just went on my YouTube and I'm like looking for the videos, and it's just been uploading audio only. So I have to like go back and upload the final videos on those, because I thought that it was just uploading it. So I don't know what the fucking purpose of this podcast host is, but I mean, I might as well just host the audio only and then post the shit myself on YouTube, because I'm gonna have to post it on YouTube anyway. So yeah, that's I did get some clips from the last episode, but I'm so bad about releasing them, because I was like, I don't like, I'm like, people are gonna be like, make fun of me for my opinions and stuff. I'm gonna put my shit out there. So yeah, I just realized this. So I'm gonna go back and try to figure that all out and get that good to go. Let me see what else I got to talk about here. Got pretty far without looking at my notes for sure. So I found last week, I found some blow molds at an estate sale, and I found 10 of them, and I hit up my blow mold guy, and he was like, I'm interested in 8 of them. So he told me like he was interested in all but like 2, essentially. So it was 8 out of 10 that he was interested in. And so this guy, I mean, we always kind of come up with a price. I don't raise the price on him, but like I know what he's going to kind of offer. You know what I mean? And he always offers less. So I kind of like, you know, I kind of put the amount that I want. I put a little bit more because he's always going to come in and offer me less than I ask. So I do that every time, and I usually get exactly what I want. So I told him I wanted 400 for these. I told him I wanted 420, but I was like, I can do 400. And so then he came back and was like, well, the most I could do is 300, which is what I wanted, to be honest with you. That's what I originally wanted. I figured that's what he would say. And anything more than that would have been like, hey, a nice little come up. So he bought 8 of them for $300. And I probably could have gotten a little bit more selling them individual. I probably could have gotten like another 100 to 150 maybe. But I didn't want to do all that. So I was just like, all right, I'll sell them to you. And normally he usually comes and picks them up. But it was Friday, and I had just done like 3 in a row with my girls, and my wife got home, and we had just got out of the pool because we did a later pool swim. So I was like, my plan was like, get the girls out of the pool, go upstairs, get them a bath, whatever. And my wife gets home, and I was like, I'm gonna just chill, you know. I'm exhausted, and my wife calls me and she's like, hey, you're still in the pool? And I was like, oh, we just got out, we're drying off. She's like, oh, the neighbors are gonna come over and go swimming, so I was just gonna make sure that the girls are like ready to go for when I get home. So I'm like, all right. So then she's like, oh, they might be coming over like any minute. So I'm like, oh, now I gotta entertain like the neighbors. And so luckily they didn't come over until my wife got home. My wife got home, and then they came over. So my kids got to play, and then they busted out my wife had like a bottle of champagne or something, and so they busted that out. And as soon as they busted that out, they were like, all right, well, we're gonna go hang out like at their house. So they took the girls from our house to their house because her husband wasn't home. They've been starting a business, so he was off doing like they're doing a franchise, so he had to go to some event or something for that. So he wasn't home, because normally I would go hang out, but I was like, I don't want to go hang out with like, you know, a bunch of little girls and then adult women who've been drinking champagne and then me, you know what I mean? So I was like, so my wife was like, yeah, you can come or you can stay here if you wanted to get some alone time. I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay home. But yeah, I would have gone over if the homie was home, but he wasn't home. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just stay home. So, but I guess like it was like my neighbor's cousin, was there with them, and she, I guess, like makes balloon animals. So she was like fucking making balloon animals for the girl. My kids came home with fucking balloon hats and fucking dog. There's like fucking balloon animals. There's one, where did it go? There's one right here. I've been knocking this one off. There's everywhere. So so that was fun. They got to do that. And then I got to I played some video games. I hung out and played some more Crimson Desert. And I caught up on X-Men 97, watched a little One Piece. So I got to catch up on a lot of shit. I was drinking beers by myself. I was like, fuck it, dude. I had like 2 tall IPAs. Sorry, I need to get new mic cables. It's on my list. I hope this isn't so bad that it's, I can't even tell if you can hear it or if it's just in my head, but you can probably hear it. So that was a nice little Friday night. You know, I got to the point where I was like a little tired. It was like 9:30 before so my kids were up late Friday and Saturday. I just forgot about that. But yeah, they didn't come home until almost like 10. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock Friday night. So I was falling asleep. I was like, shit, I got too much freedom. I got too much independence. What else? Oh yeah, I'm still working through that Dungeons and Dragons collection. I've sold a few things from it. If you remember, I met this lady. I paid $200 for the first part of the collection, and then she was like, "Oh, I've got more." I let her know when I was coming back out that way, and she, set a time to meet up. Brought the other stuff, so I think I ended up paying, what I pay, $600 for everything, and so I've sold maybe like 3 or 4 books and sets, and I've made back about $250. I've just kind of slowly been going through that. It's hard because like a lot of those ones you have to like make sure they're together, and so she was like, "Oh, most of them are complete or whatever." But then when I've looked them up, I've noticed like one book that was, she had by itself that was supposed to go with a set, and so like I'm still kind of like trying to figure out what goes with what. So that's taken me a little longer than I'd like. I usually like to make my money back quick. That's typically what I do. I will buy something in bulk, sell off a few things and make the money back, and then I can kind of slowly go through, and I don't have to stress about how fast or how little things are selling for. So there's that. What else do we got to talk about before we get out of here? Oh yeah, and the other thing about Dungeons and Dragons, I was thinking about this because I was like looking at it, and it's just basically like talking to you. It's essentially is a game that kind of sells you your own imagination. I mean, I guess most of them do that, but yeah. Speaking of imagination, I found a biker mice from Mars little figure. Hold on, I gotta stop this. Hold on. I'm back. Sorry about that. So yeah, I found a cool biker mice from Mars. Vinny? I can't remember the name. It's like one of the basketball figures. For a while, action figures would make, they probably still do, but they would make like regular versions, and then they would make like the sports versions, which the sports versions were always like so much lamer. I don't know why. Like the only ones I like are the Ninja Turtle. Like the football one was cool. But most of those ones were pretty lame. Like that wasn't one that I wasn't like, oh, get me the athletic ones. You know what I mean? Try to get the jocks to play with toys. I don't know what the fuck the point of them was, but anyway, that's the version I got of the biker mice from Mars. Vinny, I think his name was. So, but I had to grab it. I was like, I'm grabbing that. Probably overpaid for it, but it was very clean. The antennas weren't broken. The other guy, he had some CDs, so I got some CDs from that sale. It was good, like good CDs for a good price. But then he had a binder of like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, and he wanted $1 a piece on the cards. There was no holos in the Pokemon, and I didn't know enough about the other stuff, so I think he came down to like $550. He was like, he said there was like 621 cards because we counted them out, but he was like, I would come down to like $550. So I was probably going to be at like 250. So I was going to offer that to him. He probably would have taken it, but it was still early in the day. I was like, maybe I'll come back. But like I looked through all of the Pokemon cards, and there wasn't like, there might have been some errors if I had like sat and looked through it. But it was like, I don't want to tie up a bunch of money in Pokemon cards. Especially if I didn't see anything that like, it was a lot of like commons, like a lot of vintage commons, but like commons. Literally not a single holo Pokemon. And he kind of knew what he was talking about. So while it was like probably a great deal for somebody who like deals mostly in cards, I had to pass it up, which kind of sucked. But I got those CDs, which was really good. And then he also had some t-shirts. He brought out some old t-shirts. I got like a vintage Shine Down t-shirt. Not vintage, but whatever, Shine Down 2000, probably Y2K. And then the Fray band t-shirt from like back then. A couple other like random t-shirts. God damn it, this fucking thing is like really driving me nuts. I'm sorry, I apologize. This sound will be gone next week. I have it ready to list or ready to buy a mic cord right when I'm done with this. So then, what else? Oh yeah, and then I went to this sale. So like, I went around to a few sales on Saturday. Most of them were cool. Most people were chill. I went to one, and I get there. It was like on my way home, and I've been to this guy's sales before. Occasionally he has some decent stuff, but so I get there and I'm looking through, and he's got like mostly junk. But then he had a Kenner strawberry shortcake. It was like the baby apricot. So it was in the box, but the box, it wasn't like sealed in the box. It had been opened, and like, the box was in decent shape. It still smelled like the friggin' thing. It was like not beat up or ratty. It was in good shape. And so like, it's the end of the day at this point. Like, yard sales are almost done. And so this guy's like, so he's like, oh, he's like, oh, you got a good eye, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, how much do you want for this? He goes, make me an offer. And anytime people say that, most of the time they're reasonable. So I just make him an offer. It's the end of the day. So I go, I don't know, $5. He goes, oh, no, I can't do it for anything less than 20. So at this point, I'm like, you've now annoyed me, because as a customer, I come up, you tell me to make an offer, and then you scoff at my offer. It's like, all right, then put a price on it, dickhead. Like, put a fucking price on it. I hate this little dance where you don't put a price, I make an offer, and then I'm made to feel like I'm a fucking piece of shit. Like, I get it, you know what I mean? Like, resellers are bad. Oh my gosh, they're out to try to rip somebody off. But I'm not like out here looking every single thing up. So he goes, $20. I go, well, would you do like 10? I mean, it's the end of the day for your yard sale. And he just like, I forget what he said. Oh, so he goes, oh, how about 25? I go, oh, the price is going up now. And like, for whatever reason, this guy just like rubbed me the wrong way. He always does. So, so he goes, oh, 25. So then I say, what the fuck did I say? I go, oh, the price is going up now? I was like, you realize you're having a yard sale? I was like, you've probably seen, let me guess, tell me if I'm right. I go, 15 people today? Probably less. And I said, and you're asking eBay prices where you would get like maybe 2 million views on that same thing? Like, I didn't want to go that route, but it was just one of those things that he's initially started it by being like, make an offer. Fuck your offer. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like, I watch reselling videos, and a lot of times they'll just be like, oh, you don't want me to make an offer, like I'm cheap. And I need to just start doing that. Just be like, sorry, I'm cheap, like you don't want me to make the offer, like tell me what you want for it and I'll tell you if I'm anywhere near that. But like, that's the second time that's happened to me. That's happened to me before, and I'm glad there was a guy with me who like I'm friends with from yard selling and stuff. He was there at that sale with me, so I'm glad he was there, because like, I would have felt like I was in the wrong, even though I wasn't. Like, I went to a sale, same type of situation. This guy's like, make an offer. I make an offer, and he gets pissed. I'm like, guy, this is the end of your yard sale. Like, it's a yard sale. Well, like, what prices do you expect me to offer? Like, do you want me to look it up and see what it sells for on eBay and then offer you that price? Like, that's not how it works. And so, yeah, this guy just got pissed off. So I like, I do this thing where like, I'm not being like aggressive, but I'm just kind of like laughing as I'm talking. And I'm just like, I'm like, oh, if you want to sell this stuff, I'm like, look at all this stuff you got out here. Like, you want to sell it, right? He's like, I don't care if I sell it. I'm like, all right, then what are we doing here? Like, why are you having a yard sale? Why even put this out if you don't want to sell it? Like, so then he's like, all right, don't have a heart attack. I'll take the $10. I'm like, I'm not like, you're starting shit with me. Like, I go to a bunch of yard sales all day, don't have any negative interactions with anybody, and then I come to your sale and you're being a fucking dickhead about the price. Like, I don't care what the price, like, I was not going to buy it if I didn't like the price. I'm not upset about that. I'm just trying to let you know, like, it's the end of your sale. You've probably seen 10 to 15 people. That's being generous, because you didn't advertise the sale. You didn't put the sale and add in anything. You just put a sign at the end of the street. So I'm 100% he probably saw less than 15 people that day. and was like, so it is what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's just like the way I offer. I don't think I was lowballing him on it. I said 5. They were selling for like there was ones that sold for like 80, but they seemed like they were still sealed. Like, so the comps were all over the place. And at that point I had looked it up after I'd already made the offer, you know what I mean? And so it was like, I don't fucking know what these go for. I could give you $10 and it could sell for 15, like, you know what I mean? So he was he had a Cabbage Patch doll too. I should have asked him how much that was. It probably would have been $1,000. So, it was what it was. I didn't want to buy it that bad to where I was like gonna take this dude's fucking shit, but yeah. And then don't sleep on vintage peanuts. So I went to a sale yesterday, Sunday, and they had advertised that they were like a vintage store closing, but I forgot that was like the case. So I just happened to get to that sale early. Like, I got there, I think they were starting at 9, and I got there at like 8:15. I didn't mean to. I was looking to go to another sale. So I got out, and they were like barely set up, but they had clothes and stuff everywhere. So I was like, they'll probably let me dig through like the bins and shit. They were like hippies. So I walked up and I'm like, hey, do you have any men's t-shirts? And she's like, yeah, this whole bin. And then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, this was the vintage clothing like buyout. So they had a bin that she was like, anything in that bin is 5 for $20. It's stuff we haven't got to listing. Like, we're just trying to clear our, like, we have so much stuff we just want to get out. And they were really cool, really nice. So like, pulled out a bunch of shirts, and as I'm pulling them out, I look up and there's another reseller coming up, and he's somebody I've met before. He's coming to my yard sales. He might listen to the podcast. I don't know. Shout out to Smits. I don't remember his actual first name, but that was his name on Whatnot, I think. Smits something. And so he rolls up, and you never know how it's gonna go when there's another reseller. Like, sometimes they're like fucking aggressive, especially with like t-shirts and shit. But I had already kind of picked through a few of the bins, so I kind of got first pick. And so he got there like after I'd already gone through a little bit of stuff. There was a little hat bin I hadn't gone through yet, so he had already gone through that. I went through that after, and I found a Peanuts hat, like Snoopy, that type of stuff. And I always pick up Snoopy and Peanut stuff because it always does well for me. I sell it locally, to be honest with you, because a lot of times they'll do like vintage. Like, I have a t-shirt that I've been holding on since last year for Halloween for this year. I found it like a couple weeks after Halloween, but it's a vintage Snoopy Halloween t-shirt, and I do really well with like vintage Peanut stuff, and I always find it, and like the other reseller left it behind. And every time I go to places, I find Peanut stuff. Like, I had another dude the dude that lets me do his yard sales early, he had a Peanuts jacket. It was like a leather Peanuts jacket. And he's like, dude, I don't know I don't want to deal with this. So like, you can do it. Like, so I think I paid him like $10 for it. And then like, I ended up selling it for $200. So Peanut shit does sell. So I got this hat. And like, I looked up the brand, and then I looked up like, the obviously Snoopy Peanuts or whatever, and they were selling for pretty good money, like between $50 and $60. And I couldn't find this exact one, so I can probably try to list it a little bit higher. I don't know if I'll get that, but like, if I can get $50 for that hat, that's like a big chunk out of what I paid. I paid $130 for everything, so I got a ton of t-shirts. I got that hat, and then I got like some vintage kids clothes that I should do well on as well. I got a VHS that's probably like a $20 to $30 VHS, and then I just got like a little Dungeons and Dragons toy that's going to go into one of my next Whatnots. So, don't sleep on Peanuts. It just almost sounded like I said don't sleep on penis. Don't sleep on that either. But no, they were cool. They were, she just kept bringing stuff out. So she would bring out another tub. And so like she brought out one tub of like t-shirts, and I started going through it, and then the other dude walked over, and I could have been like a dick, been like, yo, wait your turn. But I was like, whatever, dude, come in, dig in. And they knew me from Whatnot too. He was like, oh, are you Perry Flips on Instagram? I was like, yeah. So yeah, you can't really be like a dick in that situation, but like, get the fuck out of my bin, dog. So plus it's like, whatever, dude, I've got so much shit, you know what I mean? So it was kind of a nice experience, going through sharing a tub with another man, and just and then at the end, like, there was some shit that I was like, because when you're going through it, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna grab, like, you got to kind of be quick, and I was in the tub first, so if I saw something that I really wanted, I would like grab it, and then after the fact, like, because that was the stuff that they were kind of pricing out different. So this shit was all over the place with pricing. I had one pile that was 5 for $20, one pile that was $1 each, one pile that was $3 each. It was just a whole. So then once we were done, the boyfriend was pricing it out based on like their pricing, I think, that they had done on eBay. And so they were at like $285. She was like, what? No. She was like, that's not how much we're charging. So he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just not pricing anything anymore. And so she ended up charging me $130 for everything, with like all the t-shirts and everything. So it was a nice little haul. I've got to post that on my Instagram as well. But then this lady showed up, and she was like, she wasn't even buying shit. She was just chatting it up. Like, she just came over and started instantly talking to this chick. And this chick was like a hippie chick. She was wearing like a Grateful Dead shit. And she just would not. And like, you could even tell, like, this chick was like, because like hippie people, like, they don't want to offend people. They just want to, like, live their lives and shit. But you could tell it was just like, this chick was just like, because she was like, oh, she was trying to get set up, and the lady's like, oh, you got to get going, Chica. You got stuff to do. She's like, yeah, well, you're talking to me, like, and she was like, you could tell she was like legit annoyed. Like, it's like, lady, you just showed up and started talking her fucking ear off. She didn't talk to anybody else. She tried to like talk to me and the other dude, but we just both, like, we knew better than to open that little can of worms. I think she bought one thing after all was said and done, but she was just sitting there. She would not shut the fuck up. After she left, I said to the lady, I was like, I didn't think you were going to get rid of her. Like, I thought she was going to be hanging out for the day. She was fucking on one. She was just like, yeah. And then she was like, she was asking the chick about her Grateful Dead shirt, and then she started shitting on Grateful Dead. I'm like, why would you like talk to this chick about the shirt that she clearly likes the band and then start shitting on them? So it was like, after that, I think her tone kind of shifted towards that chick, and she finally left. But it was like, it was crazy. Like, she was trying to help us because we were both waiting for her to go grab more t-shirts, and this lady just would not shut the fuck up. But yeah, like, digging through the bins with another reseller, dude, the whole time. We're being civil, but the whole time I'm like, oh God, I wish you weren't fucking here. No, he probably felt the same thing about me, but it's just funny. Honestly, I don't, I'm joking mostly, but yeah, it was, yeah, it's funny. So shout out to him. That was a good time. It was made for an interesting story. I found my first, I already talked about that, the hen on nest. Yeah, that reel went like crazy. They did like more views than I've ever had on a reel that fast. I woke up, it had like over 1,000 views on it. That's a lot for me, the little podcast and reseller who could. So that was yeah, I got another eBay return, another bullshit return. I got the same like golf shirt returned twice. Both times for doesn't fit. I swear they wear it once and then they like return it, because you can take the tag off, like you can take the thing off. It's not like attached. So like if you just take the tag off, you can put the tag back. So if you're careful with it. So that's what I'm going to guess that this person was doing, that they just bought it, wore it, and then returned it. So anytime I get clothes now, if you buy clothes from me and you return that shit for it doesn't fit, and it's got listing pictures with the measurements, it's getting an automatic deduction, because it's fucking ridiculous at this point. Every time I sell something with measurements in it, they'll be like, it doesn't fit. All right, well, then you're going to pay to rent it. If you're going to rent my shit, you're going to pay a rental fee. Like, this is fucking nuts. eBay. And then I had somebody else return something. They return a camera. It says there's dust on the lens, and the picture is blurry. This was a like new camera that I just tested before I sent it, and it worked fine. And now they're like, yeah, I tried like wiping the dust off, but it's like the reason that you use is you're saying it's defective, but that you're saying there's dust on it, like. So I don't know what I'm going to get back in that situation. I don't think I'm getting back the same camera. I already messaged them. I was like, hey, just so you know, if you don't send back the same camera, the same serial number, everything matching, you will be getting hit with a report. You will be reported and hit with, like, I'm done with this shit. It happens every other item. Like, I try to get in a rhythm and list stuff, but every other item I list and sell gets returned. And like, I want to keep listing on eBay, but it's such a time suck. And then for that to like happen over and over and over again, this isn't like something that's like, oh man, like I need to step my game up. This is like, I've been on eBay for years now, and it's more recent than ever. So I don't know if it's like, I've heard that people on TikTok like give you ways to like, get like stuff for free or get stuff discounted off eBay and shit like that. So I don't know if there's a rise in that. But it just seems like lately it's been happening a lot, and it's tough because he's trying to get into a rhythm. I'm trying to get some shit listed, but it's like if I spend an hour listing stuff and then like something gets returned, that's a lot of time that I just took to fucking do all that shit. So, you know, I'm trying to be thick-skinned about it, but it's just annoying. Just a hassle on top of everything else that you have to do. Let me see. Friday was mostly a bust. I went to a few sales on Friday, took my kids. One sale was like a little estate sale, but it was inside a little mobile home, so those ones usually suck. They had advertised that they had a Bose music system thing, and I went because I was going to grab that. But those things, man, most of the time, I got one, I tested it at the place, it worked. I get home, it doesn't fucking work. I'm like, what the fuck? It looks like it's in great condition. So half the time those things like don't work. If they work, they're worth some money. But so I've got one that's just sitting there. And now I've got this giant thing that I'm like, do I want to sell it for parts? Like, so it is what it is. I could probably sell it for parts. I should just sell it for parts. Anyway, that's the podcast. I was actually over 1 hour. So make sure if you like the podcast to subscribe, share it, tell a friend, do all that stuff. Follow us on Whatnot. We're going to be going live on, I don't think I talked about Whatnot at all today. We're going to be going live Thursday for our regular time. Our times on Whatnot have been all over the place because it's summer. So just make sure you follow us and bookmark all of our shows so you know when we go live. And there's like a little, you can go into our shop and there's a little thing that you can pin the notification, and so then it will, every time I pin that notification, it'll let you know when we go live, so you can do that as well. Is my hat on backwards? It is. I think the beginning half of the show my hat's going to be on forwards, and then at the end it's going to be on backwards. I think I flipped it when I got up. Anyway, that's the podcast. Don't forget to check me out. I think this is, let me just make sure, because it was late when I was talking to Sunny last night, so let me make sure that that's the right time for you to tune in. And oh yeah, I need a headshot for that. August 4th, yes, August 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I need to do a headshot tonight, so I gotta remember to have my wife take a headshot for me. Anyway, all right, that's the podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back again next week.